on the previous episode.
Short. Went over the market a little bit. The 88 team of the week, if you can get in for under 45K, scoop, scoop, scoop. What is up, YouTube? Episode 64 of the No Money Spent. This is going to be a long, but I think you guys are really gonna like this video. Now, in terms of the Xbox giveaway, tomorrow is the last day to enter. The details will be, or the instructions will be in the details of this video. It involves a previous episode to enter, but that's about the Xbox giveaway. Let's hop into the content today. Wednesday, Rising Stars. It's going to be sell day for us. Most feared hype has been growing around social media, but the first card, Nick Bolton, 90 overall middle linebacker for my Kansas City Chiefs. I think he plays your outside linebacker, plays weak side linebacker for us in 4-3, so I don't know why he's middle linebacker, but 89 speed, 5'11 is a little just too short. 92 hit power, and it's just middle linebacker. Linebackers in general, they don't get animations. You have to put lurker on them to get animations if you want to use them. Now, Gregory Rousseau, 90 overall left end, 6'7", 87 speed, 90 block shed, 90 power move. This is a really, really good left end. I think he's the best left end in the game right now. I'm definitely going to be picking up this weekend. And then Chase Claypool, 91 speed, 6'4". He kind of is that combo, that Mike Evans, but he's faster. 6'4", he's got the height, he's got the frame, and as well he's got 91 speed and 91 deep route running as well. He's about 150k, so he's kind of like a budget speedster with the height, kind of a budget Jerry Rice if you count Jerry Rice for 300k, or I think it's like 220 compared to 150. And then Mac Jones, this winning card. Field General, 80 speed, does not hit the 90 awareness threshold to get Hot Route Master. They're kind of gatekeeping Dan Marino, Tom Brady, etc. So Mac Jones is basically the same as Michael Vick, but you get plus 12 speed for Michael Vick. No, Mac Jones is 150k, but I mean, Daniel Jones is better than Mac Jones at this point. And then the main card being Isaiah Simmons, a 91 speed middle linebacker, and as well if you power up, gets that 90 zone threshold. Now, if you want to use Isaiah Simmons, you pretty much got to throw on Lurker, which is going to be an extra 3 to 4 AP in comparison to a safety. I don't know why they made him a middle linebacker. I know he plays that in real life, but they should have just made him a strong safety, so you're not able to have to spend basically the 3 extra AP. Now, our Rising Star set, or our Rising Star rerolls, profitable. Am I doing them? And the simple answer is no. They cost 5k. 20 coins for training is the going rate right now. 100k per a roll, and it's just too tough because you have 4 cards that basically go for 70k. That's going to be basically a 37k loss if you pull one of those. And then you have 2 cards in Nick Bolton and Certain, which are basically break evens after tax. And then you're going to have 3 W's where Mac Jones, Claypool, you're going to be making about 30k, and then of course Simmons, you'll be making 80k. But in terms of basically there are 6 cards which are break even or less, and then there or 7 cards I think ends up being, yes, 7 cards end up being break even or less, and then there's only 3 cards that are profitable. Now we don't want that 3-7 ratio. We want the heavyweights where it's basically 7 W's and 3 L's. So I just don't think that Rising Star is a reroll. Maybe this weekend, who knows? Most feared crash, maybe a trading market crash might be profitable, but as well as the Rising Stars NCAT or the Wildcard Wednesday NCAT, who to choose as your NCAT player. Now, I made the mistake last time of choosing Zach Wilson. I only ended up using him for about 2 weeks. You want to choose a player that's going to be in your lineup playing for your team for as long as possible. I would rather take I know Diablo's 70k, but I'd rather take Diablo. Now, why? Because he's been in my team for the last month. So I'm going to choose Jared Cook Jr. Why? Because I'm going to be using him as at least a backup tight end for probably the next 2 months. Now, you can choose, I wouldn't choose a wide receiver or running back, a quarterback, because you always end up, you don't use the same quarterback, right, for more than 2 weeks. You're always going to be upgrading because they come out the most often. But let's hop into the market, man. 88 team of the weeks. Now, you heard in the previous episode intro, if you see him for under 45, scoop, scoop, scoop. If you were on the market, and I also, if you want to see an update on methods, I put in the comments usually my latest no money spent on updates on methods. I put in the comments at about 7:30. I started doing this at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. There was a little glitch in the market where if you bought a card and you won it, you would see in the bottom right, it would spin, kick you to the main menu, and then kick you back in, but you would win the card. Now, what did this do to the market? It basically made the market, you couldn't just sit on a filter and completely dominate the filter at all times, right? You would buy a card, get kicked out, so everyone's doing this, everyone's getting kicked out. So the 88 team of the weeks were falling down to about 47k. You could just buy for 47k, and you were sniping them. You saw 35k for snipe. I was getting these cards for at least under 45k every single time. You see one refresh, Darius Slay, boom, done. I ended up buying, I think, 90 of these cards. It did take a while, I will say this. It took a while, but we knew that these were going to be profitable, right? I was saying, if you can get them for 47k when they were going for 50, I think it would be good. I didn't think these cards would go up as much, like too much, but they knew their team of the week, they're always going to go up. So you see, we were picking up, I sent in the comment or whatever about 7:30, I said, if you can pick these up, right, for 45k, if you have the coins, I would scoop, right? Scoop, scoop, scoop. And we ended up picking up, as you see, a 91 total for under 45k. You can see, I mean, if you were on the market, some people commented, they were picking cards up for 35, 40, even 30k. 30k was the lowest for mine, but you see all the bids. I know these are all the latest bids because I have been buying cards today, so it's not going to show all of them. It's only going to show, like, basically 2 pages, but most of them I got for under 45k. Now, how are they looking today? You wake up, I mean, I didn't wake up. I got on basically like around 12 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time. They were going for about 53K, so I'm like, all right, they'll be 55K. You wait, each hour, man, goes up and up and up, and right now they're at about 57.5. I mean, 58K, you can sell them almost instantly. You can lazy buy sell these for 60K, basically. Now, what if I told you you can get back like 61K after tax? So you'd be basically selling these cards for 67K on the market. You guys probably wouldn't believe me. Now, you can't do these really with Marquise Browns. Maybe later on today you can, but you can do these with Darius Slays. Now, how are we going to do this? Because right now, if we sell them, let's say for 60K, we would be getting back 54K, which is still a 9K increase. That ends up being, I think, from 45K. I think it's an 18% increase. We always strive for 20, but it ends up being, I think, an 18 or 19% increase. I don't know the exact math. I haven't done it. But there is a way for Darius Slay, with Darius Slay through the KGB set, that you could get the value of these Darius Slays the same as if you were selling them for 67K. Of course, you're getting back 61K. So what if I told you, instead of getting 54K for Darius Slay, you can get 61K? That's basically doubling your profit. That is making 15K on each Darius Slay, and it's going to be through the set. We pick up Trey Henderson's. You can pick them up for easily under 20,000, but we're going to say 20,000 as a base because it's the easy number. You see, man, 17, 16. I did buy some for 29, but that was when KGB was going for a lot more, like an extra 50K. That's why I bought them for 29. And the 80 overall Jet player, we are going to be picking up for easily under 7.5. You might see some 8K, but I was in a rush to complete this, but 7.5K is going to be the base. But you see, we finished the set. Now we'll go into the numbers after. Now, what does KGB sell for? Because last week I actually made a mistake, and I kind of misguided you guys a little bit. My friends notified me basically right after I uploaded it. They're like, you can do the Trayvon Diggs set, right? And I completely forgot about the power-ups value. The power-up Trayvon Diggs is going for 50K. I'm like, oh my god, you could have put Marcus or Deebo Samuels. You could have done the Trayvon Diggs set, right? And instead of basically getting, we were selling for 67K last week, getting 61K for Deebo Samuel. You could have got like 65K. That's completely my fault. I gotta be better. It's simple. I gotta be better. So this week, I'm like, all right, this is probably gonna work this week. Now, how much does KGB go for? He goes for about 300K, and then his power-up goes for 335K. So, of course, after tax rate, minus 30, it ends up being 330K after tax. That is going to be about 300K. I think it ends up being 301.5K exactly for how much we spent on the set, or how much he sells for. 300K, 35K, 335, 301.5K in value you get back after tax. It's the key, after tax for KGB. Okay, now how are we gonna get this KGB? Of course, we have to buy the Trey Hendricks and the cards. So it's gonna cost you. You're gonna put a reinvest, right? Think of this such as putting more coins in to make more back from the slate. So we're gonna put in 117K for the 485s and the 580s, right? 300K, 335 for the 92, and the power up 301K after tax. We take the 117.5K that we put into the set, right, to make more from slays. Subtract that from the 301K is 184K. So we are making back 184K for putting in 3 slays, right? Now it gets simple, right? We subtract, well, we don't subtract it. We divide 184 times 3, right? So we put in 3 slays. So we want to see how much each individual slay we are getting back in value for the set. And it's, man, the numbers you're going to see on the screen, it's really, I don't know why more people really don't know about this, but the graphic has taken a while, because I think when I put these in, I was going to explain it a lot more complicated, but I tried to simplify it, man. It might feel like a math class. I don't think anyone likes math, but look at it. 61.3K for each Darius Slay after tax. We were getting 54K if we sell them on the market for 60K. 61.3, if we add tax back onto that, it would be like we'd be selling them for 67K. I mean, we're getting an extra 7.5K per Darius Slay that we were making 9K off. We end up making, I think it's like 15 to 16K on a 45K card that we bought. And it ends up being like 35 or 40%. Something insane on Darius Slays. Now for Marquise Brown, what do we do with our Marquise Browns? Well, one, you can be a little more patient. We could wait and we can sell them for 60K, right? We'll take our 20% increase that we put into the set, right? Like that 20K. But there is a possibility that the Miles Austin set does become just like the KGB set, where we can make an extra like 5 to 7K per each Marquise Brown, which will make our profits it'll be insane, right? It'll be 40% basically for each card, which means if you put in $1 million, you would make 400K profit, which is insane. Now, Miles Austin goes for 300K and 51K, so he goes for a little bit more, right? You're going to get back, I think it's 315K for the set, but the problem is Austin Eckler right now, as I'm looking up on him, he was 30K. Now, he did at one point go down to 25. If he goes back down to 25K, we're going to do this shit, all right? Buy Austin Eckler for 25K or less, and it's going to be just like the KGB set. I don't know the exact numbers, but you're going to be getting extra money, I promise. So in terms of a just really basic shit, 3 slays sold at 60k, 54k, right? We'd be getting back 162k for those 3 slays. But if we send about 120k more for the team of the week set, right? We put in 125, we minus the 300, 185k value for 3 slays, ends up being 61.5k after tax for each slay. Instead of getting 54k after tax for each slay, we're getting 61.5k after tax. If we sell the KGB, of course, for 300 and the power for 35, it is an extra 7.5k per slay. I hope you guys understand that. If you have any questions, I'll try to explain it, man. Not a math. My grandpa was a math teacher, but I'm not a math teacher, and I'm not that good at explaining this. But we also did make some other moves. We did have to sell Michael Vick for a loss. I will be honest. 800k we basically sold him for. We bought him for 900k. That is gonna be a 130k or 170k loss on him to use him for about half a week. It just Michael Vick just ended up being the meta quarterback we thought he would. So it was a bad investment, but we made another sneaky investment. Will Fuller was 900 to $1 million yesterday, as we saw in the video. I was able to pick one up for 750k. He went all the way down to 720. He is kind of back up at 800k right now. We pick one up for 750k, being the fastest stock receiver in the game. I'm going to make that investment now. I need you guys in the comments to kind of help me with this. Should I power up Will Fuller and use him? If I power him up, I have to use him for 2 weeks, because it costs, like, if I were to power him down, alright, it costs like 5k to power him. If I power him for 2.5k, I'd be losing like 50k, right? So, or do I just kind of hold him and just use his base stock card and probably sell him off this weekend for a 50 to 100k profit? Let me know. We get Tyler Lockett limited tomorrow. We thought we were gonna be the fastest speed receiver, but he has 1 less speed than Will Fuller, so Will Fuller's price is definitely gonna hold. But that's gonna be all for this video. Tomorrow, Thursday, not really a sell day for the market, but in terms of content news, we're going to get most fear probably revealed tomorrow, so the market is definitely going to go crazy. But that's all for episode 64 of the No Money Spent. Comment if you have any questions, like, of course, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, peace.